going to hopefully be a short one. FOV and nudity settings. There's a little confusion on some of the stuff, and I've noticed that not a lot of people know these two things, so I'm just going to quickly show these off. If you're not in a game, if you're in the main menu, go to your settings, go to video, and right down the bottom there'll be a performance mode option here. It's not available during the game. If that is on performance, you will then get the vertical and horizontal FOVs. There's no way to change the aspect ratio, so you can't, if you widen the field of view, you can't change height and horizontal and vertical. You can't change them independently, but you can change them together. So you get the FOV slider, but you have to click on, in this section, you have to click on the performance. You have to go to the arrow. You've got quality and performance. Put on performance, you get the FOV slider. The other one is the nudity settings. Now, when you're not in a game, if you notice, there's only the 5 options. When you're in a game, there will be a 6th option. The 6th option is the actual game. The actual, in brackets, server. Now, when you're in gameplay, that setting there is your settings. What you can view. As you can see, it says nudity full. I have an Oceanic copy of Conan Exiles. Oceanic, New Zealand, Indonesia, that area, they have full nudity. Check your region, see if you're entitled to full nudity. If you're only getting partial, it's probably your region. Now, to get around that, you could, in theory, I say in theory, because it's not, I haven't tested it. If you get an account and set it up as an Oceanic account, use a VPN, those kind of things, you will then in theory get the, in brackets, update for that region, which will have the full nudity. If, for example, if you're in America and you're only getting partial, if you set up an account using VPN and set it up in the Oceanic region, or any region that has full nudity, most of the European countries have it, I believe, then setting up that account, when you do the update it using that account. And then in theory, the update should then be the Oceanic update, or the region that has the full nudity update, and therefore you should keep the full nudity. Now, I haven't tested it, so do it at your own risk, so on and so forth. But that's what your version of the game can show you is there. It says full, and below it says maximum nudity on server is full. Now, that is telling you that that is not the server's settings. That is my personal settings. If I go into a game, if I back out, jump onto single player, and then go to continue, single player, Exiled Lands, go through the whole 6 million load screen. Now, if you remember, there was only the 5 menus. There's video, audio, gameplay, that sort of shit. Now, the audio ones, obviously, like sound effects, that sort of stuff. Video would be things like graphics details, shadows, bloom, all that sort of stuff. Then you got gameplay, things like assistances, so like aim assist or that sort of stuff. Tips, so when you're building, tips come up on screen. All that sort of stuff would be gameplay. The gameplay is your preferences in gameplay. So if you're a khaki hander, you can have the inverted looks and that sort of stuff. The settings for the server only appear if you're in the server, and you can only edit them if you're an admin of the server. Now, playing in offline mode, technically you're already admin. You've just got to admin yourself. If you don't tell it to add a password, then there is no password. You just click on the I'll show you when I get in there. Click on admin, you're admin. So there, I'm in a game. It's an offline game, so I'm not in a server. I can now push start button. If I go to settings, as you can see, well, technically there's actually 6, but you got the video, which is the same as before, but if you see, the performance or the quality is not there anymore. But I've still got FOV slotted because I chose the performance before. So that video is GUI area. That is how close to the edge. Gamma, brightness, motion blur. If you turn that on, you're a crazy person. And then fill the view. Then if you go to audio, you've got things like overall volume, music volume, voice chat, sound effects, all that sort of stuff. Now show subtitles, my voice indicator and other voice indicators. That's a little, the voice indicators are a little icon that shows up in the top left. When someone speaks in game, it pops up with their name and a little microphone icon, so that you know you've heard someone speak and it tells you who's speaking. If the server has that turned off, then that will not show up. Then you've got gameplay. As you can see, that's still the same, full on full. Then there's the things like, do you have a dot on the screen? Do the names come above the characters? Can you read the signs? All that sort of stuff. Then you've got controls. This is where you can invert the sticks and that sort of stuff like a crazy person. And then you got the controller layout. You can't edit the controller layout. Funcom, that would be great. But the controller layout's actually not too bad. There's a couple of things I would like to change, but generally speaking it's good. And then you got the server settings. Now, in your offline game, when you push cross when you're in general, it goes straight to make me admin. If you just click make me admin, boom, I'm now an admin. I can now edit all this stuff here. You can view it when you're not an admin, but to change it, you have to be admin. The admin panel is also up, and if the server has it set so that anyone can use creative, or you set up so you can use creative, you can also go to your creative menus. But in the settings menu, go all the way across again. If you scroll down, you got progression, daylight, survival, combat hub, usual blah 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 blah. But what we want is in the general, and we scroll all the way to the bottom, we've got a nudity setting there. That is the server's nudity setting. Because I'm in an offline game, the game it is running is a offline server. It's running on the console, and because I've gone solo, it's just for me. If I make it cooperative, I can invite my friends. If I have that set at full, then the maximum my friends can set it at is at full. If I have this set at moderate, I think it is, or partial, then the maximum my friends can set it at is partial. If I have it set at none, the maximum my friends can set it at is none. So, if, for example, an American who has an American version of the game joins my server and I have it set at full, then the maximum they can set it at is full. But their game, which is back here, will only allow them to go to partial. Same with as if I join an American's game and the maximum they set it at in here is partial, then even though I can go to full here, their game is only letting me go to partial, so I only better go to partial. I really hope that explains like how it works. So if you're trying to join, for example, if you're joining an Oceanic server and you're joining it on an American version of the game, yes, the server will have full nudity, but your game's update has made it so you can only have partial. So you'll only better go up to partial. So that's why I say the way in brackets around it is to set up an account, ideally with a VPN, and set it up in the Oceanic region or a region that has full nudity. Then when you update the games, update it using that account. Then in theory, I say in theory because I have not tested it, you will then get the full nudity update. So when you run the game, you should then have the ability to have full nudity. All you have to do then is join a server that is not based in America or anywhere that has partial. It's Oceanic. I think the European ones do as well, have full nudity. Join them. You can see if it says full nudity on the list. And then you should have full nudity. So if I back out and go to quit, Funcom, there's a bug in offline games. When I'm equipping armor to my thralls, the game is crashing. That needs to be fixed. But let's go to an online list. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then we're going to go just official, for example. When it loads it up. Okay, there's all the officials. So if you look on the official server, hashtag or number 4323. That's the designated number of the server. It's a PvP server. It's on the mainland. And then if you look on the mode, it says PvP. PvE-C is it's a PvE server, but with combat. And then you got PvE. The tick means it's official, and then you got the region. It's Oceanic. Now, if you look all the way to the right, your server settings. Now, you have to go a long way down to find it. Now, where is it? Let's see if I can find it. Or have they made it so it doesn't display it anymore? Oh, they don't display it anymore. Well, you can disregard that one. It used to display whether it was what its maximum nudity and everything was as well. But Oceanic has full nudity. That I know for sure. Yeah, it doesn't say it anymore. So you got Oceanic. Now Asian, I believe that they have. Oh, there you are, down the bottom there. See, it says nudity allowed, none. Far to the right, very last one. So you can tell that one has, even though I can have full nudity, if I join that server, the maximum nudity I can have is none. So some of them do still show it, okay. And then Americans, they will have, theirs is a partial, I know that. Even though it doesn't say it, but I know theirs is partial. So you got Asian, American, Oceanic, and there should also be one more. I can't remember what they called it. Yeah, it's all, and you can't use the double the stick and D-pad. Oh, there is EU. There you go, that one there. Nudity allowed, none. So you don't want to join that one because it's got a no nudity. You don't want to join Asians, no nudity. America's partial. Again, check each server individually. That one doesn't say it. Whatever the server's maximum nudity setting is will overwrite your nudity setting. But if you have kids and your friends play on a server that has full nudity, you can then restrict the visible nudity on your end. The server will still have maximum, but your game will only display partial or none. So I hope this video helped. The FOV, while in this menu, go to your settings, go to video, go to performance. Then you'll get the VO field of view slider. the gameplay, that's your personal nudity setting, and then the server has its own one. So I'm out here, stay safe. Conan, Funcom, please fix the bugs. I'm out here, stay safe, catch us next time.